So we are in the Ishavasya Upanishad, mantra 4. Anejad ekam manaso javiyo nainad deva apnuvan purvam arshat tadbhavato nyan atyeti tishtat tasmin apo matarishwa dadhati. Anejadekam manasojaviyo nainad deva apnuvan purvam arshat tad dhavatunyan atyati tishtat tasmin apo matarishwa dadhati. The self is one. It is unmoving, yet faster than the mind. Thus, moving faster, it is beyond the reach of the senses. Ever steady, it outstrips all that run. By its mere presence, the cosmic energy is enabled to sustain the activities of living beings. The self is one. It is unmoving, yet faster than the mind. Thus, moving faster, it is beyond the reach of the senses. Ever steady, it outstrips all that run. By its mere presence, the cosmic energy is enabled to sustain the activities of living beings. Very interesting mantra. This verse talks about some movement of the self that is static, unmoving. Movement. We know that the world, as we look at it, that seems solid, move. Today we know that there is nothing static in nature. Through our senses, we see matter, walls, buildings, people, trees, flowers, and seems to us sometimes that there is matter that is solid. But today we know that nothing is solid, nothing is static. Everything is in a constant movement. Movement of electrons, protons, atoms, cells, microparticles, especially today with the quantum physics. It's so clear. I will pass all that because that is basic knowledge. But we know for sure, and it's a fact, that matter is movement. It's a fact. That is not part of any philosophical or spiritual or mystical conclusion. That is a physical conclusion. You see this table, looks static, something don't move. But if you have the capability to see with a very powerful microscope, you will see the movement, even your body, movement of cells. Matter is movement, and such is the mind. Mind is movement of thoughts, ideas, conclusions, assumptions. movement or the movement of thought. That is the reason Patanjali Maharishi in his Yoga Sutra say, Yoga Chitta Vritti Nirodha. Yoga happens when there is a total cessation of the mental activity, the mental movement. What do you mean by that? It means that the mind with thoughts that has a beginning and an end, that means thought is in time, a movement that is limited because it's in time, because it has a beginning and an end. And because all this movement, the diversity of thoughts, conclusions, ideas, sometimes, and usually, many of them collide between them. And then they create what we call disorder, chaos. This is, and if we say, please remember that matter is movement, a mind with movement is a material mind or a materialist mind. Okay? That is disorder, in chaos. If we analyze, look, see, careful, you will see that all the nature, the matter, organic matter, everywhere is move, act as reaction. Everything you look and see around are different reactions. Everything in this material phenomenon are reactions. And such is the human mind. The human mind, every thought that is the source of every action is reaction. So the physical movement that his source is thought, and thought is a reaction, will be a reaction. So let's say that a material mind is a mind that is limitation because it's made of movement, and that movement, thinking movement, thoughts, are only reactions. You go, you perceive something, you see something, touch something, and that experience, you store that perception, you store that experience in your memory in the form of knowledge or information. And then you react from the memory. Your reaction comes out from the past. You experience something, you see something, some situation, you react as sadness. Your reaction is sadness. And your reaction to it will be that I should not be sad. And your reaction to it will be to try to justify your sadness. And then your reaction will be certain action, etc., etc., etc. You go and react. We, as egoic phenomenons, I, me, mine, are nothing else but an accumulation of reactions. From the first moment in this world, we react to our parents, we react to situations, we react to our friends, teachers, etc., etc., etc. And in life, we continue to react, and every time we have a bigger and bigger memory, so we have reactions, and we react. What is the way to go out, to go beyond this jail of reactions, limited reactions? Only one: awareness. There is no other way out, only awareness. Because awareness is consciousness, and consciousness is not a reaction. And awareness create order, create harmony, stillness. Awareness slowly, slowly create a mind that is order, still, peace. And this awareness, or consciousness, or Brahman, or nothingness, it is everywhere, is omniscient. The self, would say here the Upanishad. Omnipresent. Omnipresent. Is everywhere, the self. That means that it's not something that is external to the mind, but is in the mind, and outside, and everywhere, and nowhere, because it's not connected to place, and not connected to time, or under the laws of time and space. So it's in the mind. And then what can be the difference between a mind that is order, stillness, and the nothingness that is order and stillness? And that nothingness has movement too. That is what the Upanishads say here. The nothingness, but has order and has movement, but a movement that is not material. How can be a movement that is totally different from the movement that is matter? Matter is movement, and that movement comes from the mind. And the mind is reaction. So movement that is reaction is matter. The self, the consciousness, has a movement, but a movement that is not material. That means a movement that is eternal, not temporal. Because the movement that is reaction has a beginning and an end, is temporal. But the movement of consciousness is eternal, no beginning, no end, from stillness to stillness. It's a movement that expresses itself as order in the stars, the galaxies, the flower, the trees, the human body, etc., etc., express itself as order. So we have these two movements. If the mind becomes order, still, what can be the difference between the order of the mind and the order of the movement of life, of existence? No difference. And that is what the sages call yoga, union. Because a mind is personal, private, only as long as is reacting or have reactions, that the internal movement of the mind is reaction. But at the moment that the mind is order, and this mind is in stillness, that mind is not private anymore. Cannot be a personal mind or a mind with personality. That mind will be cosmic, universal. What will be the difference between the two? The material mind will express itself as personality, character, that is an accumulation of different reactions. Character is an accumulation of certain reactions. You react in the way you react from your past, from your memory. But a mind that is completely stillness and order will express itself as individuality. That is a totally different thing. That is connected or express the movement, the eternal movement, ever fresh movement of life. That will be individuality. That is the movement that human beings look for it for centuries through martial arts, practice hours and hours and hours to reach that movement through Zen paintings and Zen flowers, or their ikebana is the name, the tea ceremony, etc., etc., etc. Is looking for yoga, tai chi. That movement that is an expression of the cosmic movement, universal movement, or the movement of life. This subject leads us to the difference between the personality or character and the individuality. The character, the personality, the ego react. And the individuality act. And the difference between them is between activity for the personality, for the mind that is disorder, chaos, will express itself as activity. The individuality will express itself as an action. Two totally different phenomena. Remember, action and activity. The activity is not connected to the actual situation. is not connected to the circumstances of the moment. For the action is a response to the moment. It's an instant response to what is going on in this instant. It's like a dialogue with life. It's exactly. The activity is a kind of reaction that is totally nothing to do with the real circumstance of this moment. You can compare the action when you throw a ball against the wall. And the reaction is when the wall threw the ball to you back. In reality, the wall never threw the ball, only react. And many of us who live in reaction, we never threw the ball. We always are like a wall that whatever comes, we react automatically, robotically, totally mechanical in the same way. Without pay attention to the moment, to what's going on. Because the reaction is from far the past. The action is always needed. The reaction is not needed. You're thirsty, you drink water. That is an action. There is thirsty, so it's needed to drink water. The reaction is like you drink coffee. It's not needed, but whenever you sit with a friend, you drink coffee, so you drink coffee. You only put the coffee inside, but it's not really connected to something. The situation has nothing to do with it. You only react. The action comes out from this moment, the reaction from the memory of your past. You're angry with your friend, with your wife, but in reality you're angry with your father when you was 7 years old. And you react to your father, but it's your wife, it's your friend. But the reaction is there, come from the past. That is the reason I say that the actual situation is irrelevant for the reaction. You are defensive from your uncle, from your something they did to you, your neighbors when you was 10 years old. You are very defensive. And now a friend come to express in some way something of his worry about nothing, and you react out of your defensiveness. That is a reaction. The action is beauty. It's beautiful because the action is totally connected to life. The reaction is connected to death. The action is connected to life and brings beauty, the beauty of life, to this moment. The action is always constructive, has something to add to this moment. The reaction is always destructive because divide you. You are 30 years old, but you react as 7 years old and divide you. A part of you react, never is total, is partial. A part of you react. The reaction makes you more mechanical, more robotical. because it's an activity. It's like the activity of a computer. You cannot say a computer act. What the computer do or the cell phone is not an action. It's a reaction to, you press certain buttons and he reacts. Sometimes you can see yourself, how you react in a certain way because certain buttons was pressed by somebody else. So it's a big limitation. It's a kind of slavery. Because at the moment somebody press that button, you will react in that way. And you know that you will not be able to stop it. The action is totally alive. Come out of this moment, of your presence in this moment. Come out of awareness. You prepare a lecture. You read everything. You memorize everything. Then you stand in front of the people. And all the lecture come out of something that you you prepare yourself, was previous prepared. That is a reaction. Everything was prepared. You're training for it. You only go back to something that was already prepared. The action is of the moment. Born in the moment. And will continue eternally in the present, because it's the movement of life, existence, of universe that continue, always fresh, new. At the moment you react, you disconnect from life. Because life is only in this moment, and you react from the past. And that is the ego, totally disconnected from life, totally disconnected from reality. You want to see the ego, see yourself when you react. Not connected, and even don't look if you are really connected to what's going on, what happens. You cannot do nothing to escape from this jail of the mind, materialistic mind that is full of reactions. Because even you want to escape is another reaction. You feel the misery, the pain of this jail. But the problem is that the jail has some attractive. The attractive of the jail is the security, the comfort, to feel protected in the known, what many people call the comfort zone. The mind is comfort in a certain way. To change is difficult. On the other side, you have this calling from life that comes in the form of misery. Whenever you feel this misery is okay, jump into life. But then you satisfy that misery with something else, with another reaction. You jump into whatever, in the ice cream, in the new romance, in the new television, and you still don't feel satisfied. I mean, you don't feel I am out of this jail. Only watch, see, not as a reaction, not in order to be out of the jail, no, because then will be a reaction. Without any expectation to transcend the suffering. No. Only watch. Like when you sit to watch the trees or a sunset, only see, look, see these reactions, come, go, appears. And in that moment, slowly, slowly you go and create order, silence, and the disorder go and disappear. And slowly, slowly, the order appear, the stillness appear, and at the moment the stillness appear, you are part of the cosmic universe stillness movement, eternal movement. In that moment, the experience is that all the universe with galaxies, stars, planets, flowers, mountains, ocean, is the body of your mind. But there is only one mind, not many, only one that is order and stillness, so even many cannot be different. And out of that is expressed as individuality and as action. Action is a dialogue with life. It's totally connected to the situation. It's very relevant to the situation. The reaction, the activity, has nothing to do with the situation. The situation is irrelevant. It's like when you react, your activities is like somebody talk from other time, from other days that passed. And for the person who react, his activities is like a deja vu. See, one more time, same thing happens to me with this, my husband. But the same thing that happens to me, why this happens to me so many times, people say. You hear people? They become married and they divorce. Another woman, married, divorced. Why this happens to me all the time? Because it's reactions. Look yourself. Maybe you act in the same way. Same way. I want to do a lecture, but maybe I sit and I react in the same way, same way. And usually we found ourselves time after time in the same situations. Somebody is angry with me, somebody pursue me, same situations. For good and for bad, eh? And I am one more time fall in love, one more time attached. How the reactions, repetition. The action is always fresh. And at the end, that is one of the main problems for meditation. Because so many people want to meditate as a reaction to their suffering. They say there is illusion, Maya, so I meditate. That is a reaction to your meditation. I see this is a jail, so I want to be outside the jail, I will meditate. The jail of this material world. This world of samsara is jail. So if I meditate, I will escape from the samsara. But that is a reaction to the samsara. Another reaction, and still I am in illusion. And doesn't matter how much time you will meditate or which technique you will do, still you are inside. What happens if I am inside the jail? Today I say to Swami Yogananda, I am in the jail, okay? I am in the jail. But I watch and I see that the jail has a beautiful library, and it's so interesting, the library. Not bad food. So, in a moment, I discovered that I don't really want to be out of the jail. In the same moment, the jail will disappear. No more jail. It's not a jail, because I stopped to be a prisoner. If I want to be outside the jail, it's a jail. But if I don't want, I don't have that ambition to be outside the jail. Same thing, I am an ego, so I don't want to be an ego. But what if you watch, see, and there is order? Not as a reaction. If I escape from the jail, run, that freedom will have something of the slavery inside. Because it's a reaction only to the slavery, to the jail. But if I discover the freedom in the jail, that freedom is absolute. It's not connected to the jail. It's connected to something very deep that happens in me. Any effort to go out of the mind will be a reaction and will be part of the mind in some way or other. No. Give up. And only watch, see, be aware. Awareness is consciousness. Consciousness is order. When you bring order and consciousness, where the disorder go? The mind, as the disorder, as the chaos, is not something. When the order arises, you didn't escape from the disorder. And awareness brings order. When you see things as they are, everything becomes order, everything becomes clear, everything falls in place.